I noticed that Cachy OS has been getting a lot of downloads on DistroWatch, and if you've watched other videos on my channel, I've been using Pop! OS a lot, and before that, Ubuntu and basically Ubuntu-based distros. A long time ago, I used to use Manjaro, and I really enjoyed it. So I thought to try another Arc-based distro, and I had some extra space after removing Windows on my desktop. I have on my laptop, so I'm good there whenever I need it. So I thought, why not try another Arc-based distro? And also, I wanted to pick CachyOS specifically because something, the details I don't quite, understand. If you go something like, top 10, the next distros for gaming, something like that. You might see, actually, I saw Pop! OS a lot, and I also saw CachyOS. I've always wondered, like, what do they mean when, the next distro is good for gaming? Like, is it just that, it comes with, pre-installed, things that you'll need? Or does it actually mean that there's going to be an FPS difference? And in some cases, and, reading online and stuff, it did indeed say that there would be like an FPS difference. So I wanted to actually test that, but that's a later video. This is just, first impressions on CachyOS. I'm overall like really happy with installing it and using it so far, so I just wanted to share. So again, why I picked CachyOS to fill up that extra room. It's relatively new, so I wanted to try something new like Pop! OS was back in the day. It's Arc-based, and I wanted to see how gaming would compare. Also, I would get access to KDE Plasma 6. So in Pop! OS, and I think in Ubuntu as well, 24.04, you don't get KDE Plasma 6. That comes in the next release, I believe. It's not a huge difference, but I just wanted to give it a shot as well. So I thought if I'm going to get a new distro, I'll get something that comes with Plasma 6 with the install. As for first impressions, as you can see, it looks really slick. KDE Plasma 6, not insanely different from 5, but looks really cool, very modern. And also, when you're installing CachyOS, you actually get to pick like from a large selection of desktop environments. So I have like a bunch installed, not just KDE. One thing you did have to be careful though is when you're installing, and I ran into this, when you're installing your CachyOS install, just don't select desktop environments that are not compatible with each other. And I got that warning, and I think I tried again, and I must have still selected something that I didn't get a warning for, and actually I kept getting an error. And then when I looked it up, I was like, oh, okay, just be sure not to there are certain desktop environments that like don't pair together or something. You can't install them together. So just be mindful of that when you're installing. With KDE Plasma 6, Wayland is now the default. I'm not a huge I don't really care much for the difference between X11 and Wayland, but what I will say is I did notice that it's just a little bit more crisp and cleaner with like animations and stuff, like alt tabbing and stuff like that. It's just a little bit more crisp. But some people have been saying they actually don't like Wayland as much, but I don't care much for the difference. I feel like both are still very good. Graphics drivers come already set up and installed, like with most modern Linux installs. Two things I noticed is I was a bit confused at first with the terminal. So it uses something called Fish, and I haven't used this before, not Bash. So one cool thing about it is that, for example, if I do CD, you see it's already giving me suggestions. So if I do it's like I go to this directory a lot, this documents / Bluebird documentation. So I can hit the arrow key and it'll take me, there. So like it kind of gives like these nice suggestions and stuff and coloring and things like that in your terminal. So I feel like it's more user friendly than Bash, but I did notice some incompatibility with commands and such. I think when I was trying to do a script. So if you're scripting, you may want to stick with using Bash. And again, just typing Bash, and I can go to my Bash console. But yeah, I feel like it's more user friendly, and I actually like this suggestion a lot. I find it very helpful. It actually gives good suggestions where you go a lot and things like that. But if you're scripting, you can stick with regular bash. Lastly, this is a weird, quirk, but if you've been following along with the channel, you might have seen that I work a little bit with, or I experiment a little bit with local AI models. I noticed local AI models, for some reason, again, same exact specs and everything, are very slow on CachyOS. I think there must be some sort of configuration that I need to change or something. Maybe to utilize the GPU VRAM or something, I don't know, but they are very slow on CachyOS, like unusable. Again, same specs, obviously it's the same computer. So that is something I noticed as well. But those are my first impressions. What I wanted to do next is, like I was saying, an FPS comparison between this and Pop OS to see, like, is there actually a difference? Like, do gaming, is picking an OS just for gaming like actually a thing? Is there actually going to be an FPS improvement over other distros? I want to do that comparison between them. Both of these are supposedly quote unquote good for gaming, so stay tuned and thanks for watching. If you want to see the next video.